We've actually got a brand new map. This is actually one I've never played. It's based off of a... I'm not actually sure which map it's based off of, but actually it looks rather cool. There's quite a lot of sort of flatter land, but there's also a lot of hills that we're going to have to deal with. And there's some really, really cool sort of internal, external sort of exits to each island, which I think is awesome. It's actually called Norfolk VA, which I'll put in the description for you guys just so you've got it. So yeah, like I say, it's the first time playing. We have... Yeah, it's going to be good fun. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, ideally, is the first square. We've got the highway going through, which goes through the tunnels. So we're going to have to map out where our first pieces of industry are going to go. Look at the wind, obviously. Now, the problem with this is, right, so the wind is going this way. So anything past this way, it is going to be an issue with industrial. So I guess what we're going to have to do is probably create an industrial area and then move it again as we go up and end up this way of the map. But make sure we concentrate on all the residential down this way. So let's get 4-lane road, and we'll just extend this out a touch further this way, I would suggest. Then maybe let it sweep round toward the coast, and that will be our residential. Now we have got to contend with the highway going through the middle, but that's not an issue. There will be a few bits of terraforming that I'll do just to flatten out the land in some places. Like I might take this out, or I might leave it in. It might be quite a cool idea to get something sort of wrapped around that instead of getting rid of it. So I think what we're going to do here is we'll do another 4-lane road and have this ready to carry on around this way. But this will be, I think, our first temporary, in quotes, temporary industrial area. So let's do a quick grid, because that's just the easiest way to get the industrial area going, in my opinion. And a connection there. Now again, this is only temporary until we have something more sort of robust. We need to get power in. So chuck the power in there. Do for me. Okay, up. I like to go underground as quickly as possible. Power, purely because it just gets out of the way. So that's now power in. Can we connect to water? We've got a very, very small amount of space actually, thinking about it, for water connections. Is there anything underground that would help us? Plenty. Ideal. So we'll chuck one of these in as well. We'll put it just there for now. And can we chuck an output in this little bay here? We can. So we'll put that in just so that's easy done. And up to the rest of the network. Getting it done. So that will then give us industrial. Now I'm just going to run a little time lapse to give us time just to actually get the city going, and then we can think more and plan more after that. So I'll bring you back. Okay, so that's come back nicely. They're building out as we go. We're still looking for more low density, which obviously is going to be the case for a little while. So we'll just keep adding that in an abundance as and when it's required. So I've made this little box off section because I like to put my schools. That's probably actually not a great idea. So let me just change these, because they're going to moan otherwise if there's too much traffic coming along this highway. So we'll leave those as shops, but on the internal, make these there. Make these shops and this homes. And always try and keep homes away from any form of highway, because yeah, they'll just moan straight away. We don't want that. The idea is for this city is to have basically like a tax haven. So we're going to go for a complete zero tax app, I guess is the right word. A zero tax city. That is the idea, and see if we can get happy people paying no tax and it making money. Let's see. So I'll bring you back once this is coming, and we can get started and expand more. Okay, so we've actually managed to fill these spaces, and we've just managed to knock ourselves into milestone 1, which means we can upgrade or expand rather. So I don't think there's much point in expanding this way. I think we would probably be better off expanding at least 1 tile here or 2 tiles here for now to give us that extra room, and then perhaps I would like to expand the other side over this way, because that's where I think I'd identify the industrial area going eventually. So that's sort of the best idea I've got at the moment, and we've got 1 extra point, so I think we will take advanced road services for that for now. And there we go, perfect. So what we could do then is, we don't want to expand too close to the industrial area with our residential. We do, however, want to put in a waste disposal, which I'll quickly put in now. Put that there, and we won't make it too big because again, this is going to move at some point anyway, so we're not too bothered. I think we'll go out, round it down. That'll give us some form of spacing here. Move that in. There we go. Square that off. So okay, now we've got that, let's move into expanding our road network then. So we do need to get over the highway, which runs basically right through, which is actually really, really handy. It runs almost directly through most, if not all of the tiles. As you can see, it's just random pieces here and there. Now I do want to incorporate some farms around the area, which we will unlock milestone 3, so we have to be mindful of that. We don't know. Can we look exactly now at the fertile land? Can you do that yet? No. Okay, so I think what we'll do now, so we'll just jump into a time lapse and I'll see if I can just fill up these roads a little bit more. We're going to go over the motorway and just expand out as and when we can. With the new tiles, we just need to start filling this out and then advance, and then we can add in the new schools and some public transport. Okay, so we managed to get quite a bit done actually in that last time lapse. So what I've actually started doing, and what I will do, is eventually we'll meet the key sort of roading all the way around here. I just like the way it looks, and again, all the mods that I use to make this doable will be in the description. Very easy to do, very easy to set up. So eventually it will come right round. Obviously we'll have to deal with the pollution of the sewage, which is absolutely fine. We can get rid of that another way. But yeah, now as you can see, we've actually managed to move the industrial area even further away from the residential. Eventually we will move it right up out of the way, like perhaps even in between these mountains or something, just to hide it really, because it's untidy. What we want is more of a dense city in general, mainly just to sort of give us that edge with all the higher sort of density residential. Gives us that edge to make more money, to allow us to, you know, our ultimate goal is zero tax. That's where we want to be, is zero tax. So I'm going to add a few more shops just down on this main road. Not too many, because we don't want to fill this up. Here eventually we'll need to hang this off somewhere to give us access easily to the rest of this side. As I say as well, it's not really ideal to have a motorway going right through the middle, but it's okay, I guess. It gives us good connections if we wanted to run a quick slip road. So what we'll do is we'll just keep building. If you have any ideas as to things you want to build or things you want me to add, then please let me know. We do need to add in a crematorium, which we'll take, and we'll also take the college for a single point as well. So we need to add those in. So the crematorium's an easy one. That doesn't really matter to us where it goes at the moment, because we will just add another one as and when we need it, and we have just knocked into stage 3, large village, which is even better. So yeah, let's wait. So we just want to check the pollution. So we have got a tiny bit of pollution, of ground pollution here, which will eventually disappear, and allow us to build out and extend our, I guess, little village area out to this part here, and then we'll have a higher-ish density area this side of the motorway, which I think will look really cool. I think we can safely now extend this road round the bottom of the I guess small hill or mountain. So I'm just going to clear that up to allow us a nicer area. We have to cut that off a little bit there, which is fine. No one's going to complain about that. That'll do. But yeah, this is my first official long form YouTube video. I've always been one of these people that is more of a streamer, so I'll talk to people on stream, and then also I do a lot of the YouTube shorts instead of just talking to you guys over YouTube. Now, I'm not going to be the most, what's the word, slick in terms of someone talking on here, because like I say, it's my first time sort of doing it, but at the same time, I'm always up for learning and gaining new skills, I guess is the right word. So we'll add some more low density around the bottom of the mountain as we unlock the pop musician mansion. So I think what we should do now really is use up our tiles, right? So we should use up the 9 tiles that we've now got. Now I think what I do want to do is perhaps purchase these 2, or these 3 actually, 4. Should we actually go for 4? Because it then gives us access to this complete front here, which means we can then extend down. I actually think then I want to buy these 2 and that one, because again it gives us that sweep all the way down, and it may be a good idea to buy those 2 as well. It then just gives us access all the way down. We can make it look nice and pretty all the way down toward this sort of like smaller island. I'd love to do something cool in here eventually, which we will do. Cool, that's great. So let's just check what we got going on here in terms of land flatness. Let's just flatten this out a little bit. We don't want to lose too much of these awesome mountain ranges. So that's what I'm always really careful of, is making sure that we don't ruin those. And then we'll just extend this land out a little bit to give us a nicer edge to grab onto. Is that going to be a different height? No, it's not. That's just extras we can get rid of. We'll flatten. And then we'll just curve that back in like this. Perfect. It just means now that we can take the double road here and curve that, or start to curve that. Take off that, round again, and around again. And it should start sweeping back on itself. Perfect. And we'll chuck the key in there, all the way around, and then we can tidy up that land just to, it gives it that really nice sort of just straight edge, I guess is the right word to use. So what I always do is go from the middle of where we're sort of using the key, because that's the deepest part. It just makes sense. So a little right click onto the middle, again over here. It just gives us that edge all the way around. There we go. That looks much nicer. Gives us just a nice sort of frontage out to the rest of the seaside here as well. Now here we are going to actually have a bit of a sort of a game to get this right. So we will pick the height and then start expanding this. And then it will come out behind these homes that we have sitting here. This is the first time I've used this map, or first time I've played on this map at all, actually. It's the first time I've really seen it. So it's very interesting to try one of these new ones. I think what I'm going to do is almost cheat here. So we're going to leave this as is. Leave this here as is, and then just jump over to this side. And what we'll do is we'll stop it here, wrap it in perhaps on itself, or just stop it. There will then be a small bridge over that, because it just allows us to then use the output for sewage. And we'll just come along here and finish off our key edges all the way along. It's got a nice even height as well, this map. That's one thing I really like, is the seaside is nice and even. So again, we won't lose too much of this height at the moment, because we don't need to. But we can always edit as we go along. So as I say, this is going to be the tricky bit, because we have a 4-lane road here and a want to do key. So that's at the moment what it's going to look like. I think that will be okay. I don't dislike it. start wrapping that off here. Start wrapping it round right off the edge, and then as I said here, what I'm going to do is hit it there and then hit it straight there. I think that give us what we want. Is it going to bridge it for us, or is it not? It's not going to give us a full bridge, is it? But it is going to give us a nice... I don't dislike that at all, actually. That looks really, really cool. That will then look awesome with the key all the way along. There's just a small gap, actually. Will look really, really nice. It will give us that clean look that we're going for on the edge of the land there. Carry this on a bit of straight. It's going to really wiggle its way around, which is really, really nice. It's exactly what we wanted it to look like. End it for now about here, if I can get it to click through. There we go. So we'll just come along here now then and just whack in our keys all the way along. Some of these pieces may change just to tidy them up and make them look a bit happier. Nope, we didn't want to do that. We want it to be a elevated piece there. Then back into the key. There we go. Let's click along all the way, and then that should bring that nicely in. So again, grab our tool, make it a touch smaller, grab the lower part, and just start brushing in the key side. You want to be careful here not to upset the key there too much, which is great. Great, so they would just carry on all the way along here, and then we're just going to leave that open for now. We will connect up these smaller lanes here, but I think that it gives access to a nice little access to this outlet for the horrible sewage, but it gives us a nice, real clean frontage. And again, eventually what we'll do is we'll link up with something like here, and we can have like a little exclusive island there as well. So we've got a couple of people moaning about, is this high rent? Why are you moaning? Because of crime, because we have forgotten a police station. Now, one thing with me, you'll realise that I do enjoy building sort of cities and city skylines, but I am nowhere near a perfectionist, nowhere near a, in quotes, designer, by any means, at all, by any sense of the word even. But I do try and create these nicer sort of areas for people to live in. So what I've done there, as you can see, rather than place houses right next to this sewage, is I have split it up with a few shops, because I think it just gives it that extra. I think now that that has placed itself there, I think I'm going to tighten that up. It just gives it that more. There we go. Lovely. Maybe even just tighten it up a tiny bit more on that back end, just so it doesn't go out. There we go. Lovely. So I think what we'll do is we'll get it to 2,000 population, and I think that'll be a good stopping point for episode 1. It gives us loads more opportunity. As I say, we've got extra tiles unlocked now. We do need to use some points, so we'll do that now. I think I will go for roundabouts, because that's going to be a big one, a huge one for us. And I think we'll go car parks. because I do like a good car park in City Skylines too, that's for damn sure. They're just so functional and just gets rid of traffic. I just love it. Love getting rid of the traffic. Let's bring this in and we can probably connect this up to the key wall this side. Again, it gives us another quicker access and we can actually upgrade this roundabout at last to a slightly bigger one. We could, if we wanted to, put a roundabout here, but I do like the fact that it's going to split the traffic up with traffic lights. And perhaps what we'll do is we can start filtering this road now down this hillside. Hopefully it will look tidy enough. And again, we'll meet this up with the key. One here and one this side over here. And again, what that does, it just gives us that almost seafront, sort of roading, I guess. Where I used to live, it was very, very similar. You had like the roads that would lead down to the seafront, and they would be very much almost row by row in terms of streets, and I think that's very, very similar to in some ways the American styling. You have very much sort of like a stacked row of houses in a long section of streets, and I think that would look quite cool. It's actually turned out a bit like a fish, as we call it, like Fish Village or something ridiculous. Now that's done. Industrial is just going to tick over. Again, this is still temporary because it's going to end up miles away, out the way for us. But that's great. Can we start doing this? That's next here. We do have the mansion, which we can plop in to give us a few extra XP. And then I think what we're going to do with these roads is this one I'm going to join up this side. And this one will fire it off down toward the 4-lane quayside, because it then gives us a nice open space again to add extras. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire this road up, and we're going to get it to meet off with this road. It's going to upset a few people, but hey ho, that's just the way of life in this city, I'm afraid. So if we just pull that out to about there, and then that onto there straight. What that's going to allow us to do, if we bring this down a bit further, is add in our high school. Now I think with the high school it is quite a big area, so I think what I'm going to do is pull that back, chuck the high school in here. And the method to my madness will be revealed is because we have this massive great sports add-on at the back, which I think looks really cool, and then we'll fully upgrade it obviously. So the plan is to bring the road down the side of the high school and then just filter it off that way. And then again we can do very, very similar, filter this backwards here. As well, we're really, really starting to progress now, which is great. And this one we'll just carry on straight here, down the side. Maybe we can bring it up out the back. Chuck it up to there. And maybe just assign that up that way like that. Ideal. That's what we like to see. So, they still haven't fixed the bug with the high intensity or high density buildings, have they? That there's a demand for them, and we can't get them yet. So just wait. We'll add in and just colour that up a little bit nicer there, and we can start again adding a few more touches of the medium density all the way along the seafront here, because these guys will be really, really happy having their houses right on the front here. Not so much these guys, I don't think, because they're going to have a nice bit of sewage. Great, so this really, really coming together actually. I'm really, really liking this map. You know, I've only spent, what, 25-30 minutes. It's very, very nice indeed. It's very... One thing I like about City Skylines, the maps are so much bigger, it gives us much more opportunity to be really sort of spaced out. if you really zoom out and look at the land that's on offer, it's amazing. Can't ask for any more. So as I said earlier, one thing that I do want to do is farms. Now, as you can see, it is very, very farmy, this map, which is ideal. It's also very woody and very rocky. Unsure about oil and ore, but I think what we're going to do is let's find out a little place for farms. Now, we don't want it over here because this is going to be quite heavily populated. This is also going to be heavily populated. But what we could do is we could take a section perhaps here. In the middle of these two roads either side, and say, okay, well that's going to be farmland number 1. Now what I like to do with my farms is I'll run a road across the side of the, I guess, the main dual carriageway, and then we'll come up in a straight line to give us that extra there, and then just start wrapping around and creating some really odd patterns. Because what that does is when we put the fields in, it gives us that different look rather than it just being square farms or whatever. So let's put that there. For example, that in theory should be one little farm field there. We can come down all the way down here in a straight line and go this way to match this one. Hopefully we can get that to match somewhat to there. And back up, and again another field, so that's 2. This one you can keep wrapping it up round here and into there again on purpose. Now what we're trying to do is give us sort of like an uneven loop in a way. So you've got a couple there, 1, 2, 3, and then we can shoot off from this one and go down and straight in. That gives us another one. So let's start filling those in. I think that's a good stopping point for the first episode. So we've started to really build out the city with the industrial area moved. We've got the farms going. We've just managed to start introducing the medium density all the way down here. And as I say that, we may as well just add in the last pieces here, ready for people to move in when they want. But I think it gives a really, really nice clean start. Let me know if you have any ideas, anything you think would be better if we changed it. Always open for ideas, as I say, and improving. Anything you can think of, do let me know. You can follow me on socials. I'm quite active on Twitter, X, Elon Musk, social media, whatever you want to call it. I'm very active on there, so if you want to follow me over on there as well, the links are in the description. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.